Oh man, what's up? What's up? So I decided to do a little video about pretty much. It's almost kind of like a red pill video, I guess, but it's just more along the lines of experience of what I've been through and what I'm going through in the military, as far as relationship. I guess relationships, whatever you want to call it. But so my name is it's not important what my name is, but let's just say I've been in the army for 7 years. Um, Before the army, I was actually in a pretty long-term relationship. So we're gonna get on into fast forward. I'm not gonna go back into details about my relationship in the past. We're gonna talk about now, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel why you shouldn't get married in the army. And I'm gonna be straight up with you, man. Like, getting married in the army, everybody always does it for the BAH. Everybody always does it for the BAS. But in all reality, I'm gonna be straight up with you, bro. You don't get more money than what you would get living in the barracks versus living in a house. You're not gonna deal with the stresses of somebody constantly being under your skin every 5 minutes, because before that person, or before you join the army, you have to realize that if your wife or your significant other, before this military lifestyle, they knew what they knew in the civilian world, versus like when you're in the military, they're going to question why things happen where they do, or why you're in the field, or why you're always training, or why you're always constantly deploying, why this is going on, last minute phone calls from command, CQ, staff duties, like it's just an ongoing list, man. And then it just feels like yes, for civilians it's a burden, but at the same time, for the military members, it's even more of a burden, because I feel like you have to walk on eggshells to keep your significant other happy. And I will explain by saying that once you're in the military, I feel like being in the military, like, you shed a lot of, there's a whole lot more. It's different than being a civilian and married. You know what I mean? Like, and being a civilian married, you're gonna be there for your family all the time. You're gonna be around. Versus in the military, you're not gonna be around all the time. It just depends on what branch you're in. Because I came from an Air Force family, so coming from an Air Force family, they really didn't hit the field and stuff like that a lot. They really didn't do a lot of like range training. They just didn't do a lot of that stuff. The same as the army does it. I feel like the army, when my child was born, I feel like I've been there for only a little bit of her life. And we're going to get into a story on why I feel like you shouldn't be married in the military. In the military, I'm going to tell you right now that they care about only if your family is taken care of financially. I wouldn't even say financially, just they just want to make sure they have a place over their head, and make sure that the care plan, or if you will, if you want to call it, is up to par, just in case you want to deploy. I really think they don't care about your family as much as they say they do. It's just, they have to have all these checks and balances in order before you go anywhere. And that's just the honest truth, man. So, um, basically, I've been married since 2013. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, once you're in the military, your wife is going to eventually find out what she can do and what she can't do. You know what I mean? And I've had many friends in the military that were married, and I've seen many different stories. A lot of I've seen a lot of grimy things, man. So I've had a friend that was, put out of his house for something that wasn't even true. Like, the MPs came and got him, and it was just like, people have arguments. That's just what couples do. They have arguments. They go through whatever they go through. So they basically came and got him just because she felt like he was raising his voice at her, when in all reality, I've seen how things work. I've seen like what kind of person she was, and I'm not even trying to be biased. I saw the kind of person she was, and I saw what she was doing. It's like once you get married, that to that civilian in the military, and it can be a man or a woman. I'm not even saying that, but just from my experience, I've been around my boys, and I've seen what kind of, what their wives do when it comes to kind of, I will say, like, kind of manipulating them. And I've seen things like, you know putting husbands out the house just for little minor things. Like it won't even be like abuse like the military says it is. Like, it can just be a little argument, and the MPs literally can come to your house and put you out the house, and they don't hear your story at all. Like, pretty much what I hate about being married in the military, or just in the military in general, this just goes for everything, is that you are guilty before proven innocent in any situation, in any circumstance. Like, you pretty much will be treated like a criminal until you proven that you're not a criminal. You know what I mean? So in the army, like, they will have your wives back over yours 9 times out of 10, unless the situation that is that messed up. They will have her back, so she can pretty much leave. She can get up, leave. She can take the kids away. She can do all kinds of things, and you can go to legal and try to fight it, but they're just gonna tell you, oh well, you know, pretty much it's your job to keep her around. That's why I don't like marriage in the military, because I feel like it's a job more than it actually is, a companionship to keep her happy. And I feel like once they get a grasp of all these regulations and the rules that go on in the military, and they figure out what they can do to you, and they figure out, it's like they got you, you know what I mean? Like, and I just don't want to live my life that way. I'm going through some stuff right now. I'm separated, but just from my experience of being in, like, it doesn't matter what kind of person your wife is. That they don't care. They don't care what kind of person your husband, for you know, as long as you. Okay, I'll put it this way. Literally, your job is to keep them around. In the army, doesn't care about what you're going through. They don't care about. They don't care about how wrong she is in a situation. It doesn't matter. She can cheat. She can get up and leave. She can do what she wants. I've seen people come back from deployment where their house is cleared out. Even in my situation. So my wife, she fucking basically took I was on leave, and I was on Christmas leave. And basically she got long story short, she got mad that I took an extra 4 days to be around my family. They offered me to, get a plane ticket 4 days before, just 4 extra days to stay with them, because in the military you really don't, depending where you're stationed at, you really don't get that opportunity to see your family all the time. Me, I'm stationed 800 miles away from home, so you really don't get that opportunity afforded to you to pretty much go home and see your family when you want to see them. So versus she gets to go home anytime she wants and see her family. But that's something that she didn't understand, because like I said, like, once you're married to somebody so long and they figure out how the military works, I don't care what nobody says, they are going to use that advantage towards you. They know that. Like, if they know they know it. Like, so long story short, I've stayed a couple extra days, and she just got so mad about it. She was like, why didn't you talk to me about this? And why did you? I'm like, bro, it's 4 extra days. And not only that, I got the receipts to prove that I was where I was at for those 4 days. I got videos with my family and all kind of stuff like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So she makes a big rant about it, and she takes off and leave with my kid. And not only that, Her family helped her do it. They helped her get my kid and take her from my duty station now back to our hometown. And my thing is, like, I'm like, who does stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like, if you're married, I feel like it's a two-way street. If she's unhappy about something, it could be about anything too. Like, it could be about I've seen the stupidest things. You know, I've seen the dumbest things that wives on a military run happy about, and they just packed up and got ghosted. And the thing is, like, it's crazy because they will literally do you wrong, cheat on you, do whatever they want to do in the relationship. You know what I mean? And then you're responsible for their actions, no matter whether they be, whether they be good or not. It's like, it's almost amazing to me, like, these regulations and these rules the military has in play, because they make no sense, because every situation is different. You know what I mean? Like, yes, if you were messing up as a husband or whatever, then that should be up to you to pay the price for it. But if not, if you were a good husband and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and all she is doing is flexing power, especially if you have a kid with her too, oh man, like, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, she's flexing power all day. And that's what I don't like about being married to civilians, because in the military you have no power. Like, as a service member, you have no power. You're pretty much under their spell. You're under their control pretty much until you get out. That's the one thing that's going to make me get out the military, is you have to listen to people that have no idea what they're talking about half the time. That's a big reason. I'm getting tired of PT every morning. But the big reason what's really going to push me out is just, their lack of common sense when it comes to marital issues. Like, they're not in your household. So how are you automatically going to assume that the civilian is right just because you're the service member? As a service member, you're going to be walking on eggshells the whole time. Any little thing can make her unhappy, and she can just chunk deuces and she's out. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not the way I want to live my life. To be honest with you, before, all this stuff started going on, like, I really liked the Army. I really, really enjoyed the Army. But just now, like, I can't even enjoy it. And then there were some cases on deployment where, the wife was doing whatever she wanted to do, and she didn't face no consequences. You know what I mean? She was out there doing what she wanted to do, and guess what happened? And it doesn't make sense. Like, the service member was deployed. You know what I mean? Like, the service member was deployed, the wife was doing what she wanted to do, and guess who still had to pay her separation? Guess who still had to give her all the BAH? Just because she wanted to go have her fun, now he's paying for her expenses. He's paying for her fun that she was having with somebody else on deployment. I'm telling you, man, like, getting married in the military, it is not it. Not it at all. Don't do it. Just because you figure you're going to get a house and you're going to get this BAS, like, it's really not as much money as you think it is. Depending if you're staying on or off post, they're going to take your BAS, they're going to take your BAH, so that doesn't even matter. You wouldn't even see that in your paycheck anyway. And the little money, say, like, if you did get a little place off post and the rent, whatever your BAH is in that state that you're in, what if it is a little bit more, that doesn't even matter. The problems that come with marriage in the military is not worth that little couple of extra $100 that you're getting on your paycheck just to live in a house. You know what I mean? I'll honestly say, like, if when it comes to me, I would probably never get married again, because I really don't see no benefit for marriage when it comes to a man. Marriage really doesn't benefit anybody except for to me, the woman. Because guess what? Like once she's done, she's done, and she's taking everything with her, and that's it. Now you're the one that's stuck on child support, depending what state you're in, alimony. You know, gotta help her out, even though she's a grown woman. She can help herself out. You know what I mean? Like, so people always ask me, you know, would you ever get married again? And honestly, nah. I really don't see the benefit behind it. I mean, I go into a long like maybe a long time. Even then, I don't even know if I do that. Like, what's the point? What's the point of a long term relationship? What's the point of marriage? What's the point? Like, you can come in and have half your stuff taken at any point just because, you know, she lost attraction to you and she wants to be with a whole nother guy. I just don't see the point of it. Like now that it's good things happen in life the way they happen to you because they give you wisdom and they teach you valuable lessons. And my thing is, like, if you're going to get married, I would really sit back. First of all, I think what one of my mistakes were is that we move too fast. You know what I mean? And another factor is too, like, if you're going to basic training and you and your significant other been together for a while, my advice for you is just because you're getting out of basic training or you're getting stationed somewhere else where she's not going to be, you really need to get to your next duty station. You need to figure out who your chain of command is. You need to be around that unit for a little bit. Yes, marriage is all about love, but at the same time, you need to figure out what kind of people you're dealing with within your unit to make that decision. You need to get to another base, and you need to pay attention to other people that are married. You need to pay attention to the issues they go through, because in the military, I swear to God, a lot of us go through the same exact issues. Like, so pay attention to those issues. Pay attention to what's happening to people when things go wrong. Pay attention to the punishments that are happening to people. Pay attention, because it goes deeper. Like, people is like, oh, we're just married because we're in love. Like, marriage, especially in the military, goes beyond love. You know, marriage is finances. Marriage is a partnership. Marriage is, you know, if you have kids, you both are taking care of the kids, just not one person. It's a sacrifice. You know, I have a beautiful daughter out of this marriage, thank God. You know, I'm thankful for my daughter, but me, I'm smarter than what, you know. I was smart enough not to have multiple kids. You know, I don't wish nothing bad on the mother at all. Like, I don't. We just did not work out. Like, our personalities are two different personalities. And you know, what I don't like about marriage, especially military, you have to compromise. I feel like you have to compromise all your values to the person you're with, because there are some things that I was just not riding with that she wanted me to do, and she figured that, oh well, I can use, you know, the military to benefit me, or I can threaten him with this. That's another thing too. Like, if you're gonna get in the military and something ever happens between you and, like, I'm telling you, she's going to threaten you with your chain of command. That is facts. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen to so many of my friends. She is going to straight to your chain of command. If something that she figures is not going her way, then she's gonna leave. Then you're gonna have to pay her all that BAH while maintaining your place at the same time. So if your BAH is $1,000, you're gonna give her $1,000 versus, and then not only that, you're going to have to maintain the place that y'all were staying in. You're gonna have to maintain that place too. It's pretty stupid, huh? You have to support a grown woman that wanted to do what she wanted to do. You know, her mistakes are your problems. That's pretty much what marriage is in the military. The civilians' mistakes, the civilians' happiness comes before yours. Their mistakes are your burdens. And if you're wrong, Or if you're right, she's wrong. Or I mean, I'm sorry. If your wife is wrong, she's still right in the military's eyes. You know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't do it. You know? I mean, this is my first video I'm making, but I just had a lot on my mind, and hopefully they will be better in time, but just don't do it.